When we're lacking that, I think we look for it in other things, which is buying an identity through, as I said in my past video, aesthetics, or just buying things, to just get that little fulfillment, that little dopamine back. Oh, my name is Samia Leslie, and welcome to my channel where we discuss growing up, going through life, going through the journey of life, and also building confidence and learning and growing as we go. Today, it's not really confidence focused today, but today I wanted to talk on overconsumption. According to the Oxford Dictionary, consumption is basically using resources. So that could be water, that could be clothes, that could be gas. It's basically using resources. That is what consumption is. While overconsumption is basically using way more of those resources that one person or one individual needs. Overconsumption is really damaging our environment.
Needs are met. Extra consumption does not increase their well-being. And buying new phones, clothes, and gadgets all have an environmental price tag. Despite the fact that 100 companies were found to be the root cause of 70% of global emissions, the reality is that the people using those companies' products and burning their fuel are us. Or rather, I should say, primarily rich communities and countries, because consumption levels are not equal across the world. The average American uses over 100 times the energy as someone from India. And if everyone in the world were to live in the same way the average German does right now, global emissions would double. So as those in rich countries gorge on luxury items and the newest tech, they use energy and emit at much higher rates than countries in the majority world.
Overconsumption has become a way to create happiness, at least false happiness. Instead of actually dealing with those underlying issues of loneliness or sadness or depression or unsatisfaction in one's life, someone rather go on a haul, buy something, go on TikTok shop. And you don't understand, yes, it feels good to press that purchase button. Girl, I'm speaking from experience. I said experiment from experience. I had those issues of buying things. But question, why are you buying this? Like, a lot of my channel is going to be questioning yourself, because I really want us to develop a better relationship with ourselves and understand what we are doing for ourselves and to ourselves. So when you buy these things, do you actually use them? What does this item mean to you other than a trend? Like, what does it really mean to you? Are you going to use this long term? Do you know that you're going to use this over and over? Are you going to wear that shirt over and over? Do you actually like the quality of that shirt? Does that shirt have like some connection and story behind it? Or are you just doing it because it's a trend? Are you doing it to relieve that false happiness that it gives you, that excitement that it gives you to check, oh, when is my package coming? Oh, I have a package. Oh gosh, I can't wait. And then a few days later, you don't even use the item. You forget about the item. And then it's like a cycle. You do it over and over again.
Brighter choose.
So you get a dopamine hit when you buy something. It's kind of this pleasure of, oh, I'm buying something, that's fun. But with online shopping, you get that dopamine hit when it arrives too and when you open it. So it's kind of this double benefit. And so it's actually more fun in some ways biologically than buying things in the store.
This biological compulsion to shop is partly due to the way humans are wired.
So there is an evolutionary aspect to this. The people that had the most stuff were most likely to survive. So you gather a lot of food for the winter, you gather a lot of wood for your shelter.
After COVID, it has been very hard for people to socialize, and I've seen a lot of video essays on, as I said, the loneliness pandemic. A lot of people have been finding it hard to socialize, and we are social creatures. We love talking to people, spending time with people. It really soothes that part of her human self.
Missing that connection and are feeling lonely.
The pandemic poured fuel on a fire that was already burning.
Dr. Vivek Murthy, the U.S. Surgeon General, says loneliness is an epidemic, the focus of an 80-page advisory he is releasing today.
We're used to thinking about smoking and obesity as clear public health concerns.
So you're saying loneliness is comparable to smoking in terms of the detriment to your health?
Yeah, in terms of the risk that it poses for premature death, yes.
Half of U.S. adults experience measurable loneliness, and it's greater among young adults.
When you struggle with loneliness, when you're socially disconnected, it increases your risk of depression and anxiety and suicide, but it also increases your risk of physical illness as well.
Loneliness increases the risk for heart disease, stroke, and among older adults, dementia.
When we're lacking that, I think we look for it in other things, which is buying an identity through, as I said in my past video, aesthetics, or just buying things, to just get that little fulfillment, that little dopamine that gets released in our brains. Like TikTok and companies are realizing this, and they're doing some powerful marketing to feed into this. That's why you always see some viral product coming out, some viral this, some influencer probably pushing down your throat. I love this. I love this so much. Like pushing that down your throat to buy it. And you being like sheep, not questioning whether or not you actually like this item. Oh, let me go buy it. Let me go buy. No. Especially in this economy, like people are struggling. So you have to be very careful of where you put your money. Not if, from what I've seen with the statistics, a majority of the population, American population, is not doing well right now. So I'm seeing everybody spending so much money on all these hauls. I'm like, either this is sponsored. That's another thing. People don't understand. A lot of these creators get sponsored. Either you're sponsored or credit card debt is another thing. You're putting this on a line of credit. Or you're just financially irresponsible and you don't know to put your needs and wants. And I know, girl, I'm not telling you to just buy your needs. Obviously, you want to live a good lifestyle. But you need to question where you're putting your money in.
Half of Americans with an income of $100,000 a year or higher say they're living paycheck to paycheck. This may be the result of a sneaky behavioral phenomenon called lifestyle creep.
Lifestyle creep is the common pattern of making a little more money and starting to spend a little bit more money. It happens almost automatically.
I think people hold these benchmarks in their mind. If I reach this position or I get this promotion or I make it to this age, then I can live this life, or then I deserve to have these things. And then they kind of go a little crazy or go a little wild on it. And then it becomes like a trade-off. Like they only can enjoy their present happiness and they're not able to save or plan for the future.
There's nothing wrong with wanting nice things. The mental, emotional reason why we want to acquire more is generally rooted in this need for like your perceived value. Like we live in a world where like the nicer car you drive, the higher your...
Buying these things won't fix anything you're facing inside. It won't. Trust me, it won't. Yes, it feels nice to buy it, have the hauls, check when it's coming, but it's not gonna fix what is going on inside. You have to face that shit, alright? You have to face it. And buying something is not gonna relieve you of that. And you are not like sheep. Like, you're not sheep. Not every time when somebody dangles something shiny in your face, you have to follow it and purchase it. I know we're intellectual girls. Like, we're gonna look into where we're putting our money in, alright? And we're gonna go on this self-growth journey of discovering ourselves. So before you buy something or before you have a whole big haul just to buy something, or you see an influencer or something, you're like, oh, I need this. Question to yourself if you even need it. Like, do you even need that item? As I said, we're going to reprogram our brain because we will not be participating in this overconsumption. Yeah, we have participated in the past, but we have life. Once there's life, there's hope. And what we're going to do is reprogram our brain to not feed into this overconsumption culture that our society has created through TikTok, through Instagram, through YouTube. Everybody is buying everything. You don't need one Stanley Cup. You need 10 Stanley Cups. You don't need one Natrium body wash. You need 10 Natrium body wash. Like what? And how we're going to reprogram our brain. Let me get into my notebook. I love my notebook so much. But how we're going to reprogram our brain is fix what's happening underneath. Because a lot of times when people are buying so much shit, like, I always side eye them because I'm like, why are you buying all of these things? Like, what is going on underneath? Why you need to buy all of these things or hoard all of these? Like, what is going on? So I feel like the first thing you need to do is address what is the underlying issue. Am I feeling lonely? And this is making me feel some community with some online creator because we have the same thing, or me and her have this, or I want to be a part of like an aesthetic, so I'm gonna buy this whole thing to feel like I'm a part of a group. Instead, you need to find real community and make real friendship. And it doesn't have to be through material things. Or if you're feeling sad, question what is happening, why I feel sad, why I feel depressed. Do I need help? Question those things. If you realize that you're like buying so many things that you really, in the long term, you don't really need. All right. Number 2, take a break off these algorithms. Take a break off TikTok, or remodel your TikTok feed. Unfollow some people that you know are influencing you to buy these things. Probably unfollow some of them. Cause if you're getting pushed this, like, through repetition, seeing this over and over, your mind might be like, maybe I do need this, you know? So you have to reprogram your algorithm. Unfollow who needs to be unfollowed. And I know it's hard, especially with TikTok Shop, pushing people, buy this, buy that, buy. I know it's hard, but you're gonna have to do it, especially if you want to not be a sheep. Like, you want to buy things because you want to buy. You want to like it. Remember what I said. If you want to be confident, you have to be authentic within yourself. You can't just be buying things because other people are buying them, or doing massive hauls just to fill an emptiness you have inside. Discipline. Remember, stay disciplined before you buy something off Shein or whatever. Question, do I like this item? Am I going to wear it for a long time? Do I like the quality? What is the story behind happiness in something that is not a product? Like, find happiness somewhere else. Find happiness within yourself. You don't have to buy something to find your happiness. Product will not soothe your happiness for long term. Yes, immediately buying it, probably a couple weeks, you get that high, you have like, I have this new product, but after that, it's gonna it's gonna go down, and you're probably gonna need another product to soothe you again. No, you need to learn to self-soothe yourself. You don't need products to give you happiness and to soothe you. You can do this. I believe. I don't know what is up with this generation or society right now, but we need to understand that happiness is not stagnant. Like, happiness is, you're not going to feel happy every day. And I feel like this society, we have been chasing this dopamine. Like, we want to feel a high every time. I feel like that's another reason we're going into this overconsumption, because it's just the high of buying something. The high. Life is not gonna, happiness is not gonna be stagnant. You can't be happy all the time. And when you do feel sad, or you do feel a sense of loneliness, you need to learn to sit in that. You need to sit your butt in that and face it. All right. And you need to give yourself grace, because you can't put that unrealistic standard on yourself to be happy all the time and look for products to give you that fulfillment all the time. It's not realistic. It's not sustainable. Your pockets will cry unless you're rich. I don't know if you're rich. You know, if you are rich, you can send me some money. But if you're not rich, I don't think this change is going to be hard. It's going to be difficult, but you got this, babe. Money can't buy you happiness. These products won't give you happiness. You can find happiness on your own through self-discovery, through community. These are way more sustainable than buying products over and over, throwing them away, landfills, and messing up our planet as we know. Bye. Thank you so much for my video, and you got this. You can do it. I know you can.
Can't buy me love, love, can't buy me love. I'll buy you a diamond ring, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I'll get you anything, my friend, if it makes you feel alright. I don't care too much for money, money can